If you tend to freeze in your business, this video is for you. Now in this video, I'm going to show you first why you freeze in your business, why you feel overwhelmed, and how to break through the freeze mode that is stopping you and blocking you from taking the action that you know you need to take in your business. First, let's talk about why do you even freeze in the first place. When we look at the polyvagal theory of the nervous system, and this is really important, so I want you to listen. When we look at the polyvagal theory, the thing that we know, that we have learned, is that if your body has been in the sympathetic fight or flight state for too long in your business, which means that you've been running your business from pushing, grinding, overworking, trying to control everything, never feeling that what you're doing is enough. When you've been in that state of being for too long, eventually your body is going to tell you, I can't do this anymore, and this is too much, and your body is going to go into freeze. This is where you start to feel overwhelmed by the simplest of tasks, by your to-do list, by you looking at a screen and feeling like everything just feels too much. And I certainly have found myself in this state many times in my business. But what has really helped me understand is why it was happening. Because at the end of the day, polyvagal theory talks about how you can get yourself back into a regulated state. Now, don't get me wrong. We will be going through the sympathetic and to the freeze state quite a lot because we are human beings, we have experiences, and we have nervous systems that constantly want to keep us safe. If something becomes too much for the body, your body is going to shut down, or your body will find a way to keep you safe again. So when you go into freeze mode, all that your body wants to do is to keep you safe from more overwhelm or more doing or more pushing, because your body is saying, I can't keep going the way that I have been going anymore. And when this happens to me in my first business, and I would find myself quite a lot in freeze mode, I would have to take inventory and ask myself, why have I been pushing so much in my business? Why have I been doing so much in my business? And often what you see, people who go from freeze into sympathetic, either you have like a high burst of energy, so maybe for 3 days you feel like, I'm on top of the world, I'm gonna do everything. You show up in your business, and then you feel like you shut down again. And then you disappear for a week. And then again, something happens, you get excited, and then you're in this high burst of energy, and then it drops again. So this is very common for people that are building their businesses from a dysregulated state. Instead, what we want to do is we want to be regulated most of the time. Not all the time, because again, we're human beings with human experiences. We're going to feel dysregulated at certain times. And we also need to feel dysregulated because our nervous system is constantly scanning for danger. And if something is dangerous, your nervous system is going to tell you. The problem though today is that when we're building businesses, those dangers are not real, right? They're not real threats to the body. They're not real threats like many years ago, those two threats that we had, where predators like a lion trying to catch us and kill us, or famine. Today, these threats look different, but our body still has the same response. So eventually what is going to happen is that you're going to be in fight or flight. And when I do this, I'm like, envisioning you running away from a lion, and eventually your body is going to be like, okay, I can't keep going anymore. I'm going to freeze. I'm going to pretend that I'm dead so that the lion is going to just leave me alone. And so this is a very common thing that we experience as entrepreneurs because, of course, I know what it feels like wanting to build a business, wanting to be successful, wanting or maybe even needing to make money. And when you're in this state, if this fight or flight and you're building your business from like always hustling, always going, always grinding, never slowing down, what your body is going to do is it's going to kind of in a way force you to slow down by you going into overwhelm and by you going into freeze. Now, when you are in that freeze state, sometimes what I've seen people tell me is that they feel this relief of like, oh, now I get to rest, but it's that wrong type of relief, because when you're in a regulated state, you can always access that feeling of slowing down. But this is more of like a forced relief when we're going into the dorsal state, which is the freeze, which is the I can't move state. And this is also where often I see entrepreneurs starting to doubt their journey. They're starting to doubt that they're good enough. They're starting to doubt that they're meant to do this or not meant to do this. And this is a very common thought process or thought pattern I see women have in that state. Now, how do you get yourself out of a freeze response? First, you have to understand that in polyvagal theory, freeze is literally what it says, freeze. You're unable to move. It's immobilized. You don't feel like you're able to take more action. And often what women tell me as well is that they feel numb, they're feeling demotivated, they're feeling like they want to give up. So first, we have to find a small way of movement, a movement that feels safe to the body. What I've seen people try to do is that they try to go from freeze into regulation immediately, which doesn't work. Whenever we look at the polyvagal theory, we know we move from freeze into sympathetic and then into regulation. So that means we got to ask ourselves, what is a small piece of movement that is going to help us move out of that freeze into mobilization again, and that feels safe to the body, that doesn't feel overwhelming to the body. So sometimes all that you can do to get that mobilization in is a stretch. It's just a simple stretch and opening up your body. That small movement can already signal your body, listen, you're safe. Whatever story you're creating yourself is not true. Your body just needs a moment to recalibrate. The other thing that I've seen people do, which is a mistake that you don't want to do, is to keep pushing even more. So you might find yourself sitting in front of a screen and feeling frozen, and then sitting there for the next 3 hours, still feeling frozen, still feeling unable to actually take the action. Remove yourself out of the environment that caused the freeze state in the first place. Remove yourself out of it and do something completely else, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Make yourself a hot tea. Go outside for a walk that feels very soft and easy for your body. Cuddle your dog. Do something that removes you out of your current environment. Possibly go outside. Find something that shows your system, listen, we are safe. There is no danger happening right now. And moving and taking action is good for us. It helps us. The other thing that really helps is to, of course, not let the freeze state even happen to that extent, which means we got to change our underlying state of being, which often is leading our business from survival mode, which is the fight or flight. So this is the next level of really changing your state and noticing, where am I actually building my business from survival mode? Where am I actually showing up in a way in my business that feels like pushing, never being able to slow down, never feeling like it's enough, and regulating yourself from that state. And changing this state looks slightly different than the freeze state, because when you are in the sympathetic state, your body actually needs a moment to slow down. So my absolute favorite way to signal safety in my body whenever I feel like I am in this state is to take deep, long inhales and a slow exhale. The slow exhale is what actually activates your parasympathetic state. It's what tells your body we are safe. That quick inhale actually puts your body into sympathetic, whereas that long exhale out, it signals your body we are safe. Because the way that I want you to think about this is, if you're in fight or flight, and again, thinking of the dangers that used to exist many years ago, there's a lion trying to catch you right now. Your body is not gonna think, hey, let me slow down and take a deep breath. Let me have a long exhale. No, your body's gonna think, let me survive. And so that breath alone can really be so helpful for your body to signal to you, we are safe, there's no danger, we are okay, and we can slow down. Now, these are quick regulation tools I'm talking about. In order for you to take it a step further, it's actually healing the root of why you're dysregulated in the first place. And this is really the work that as entrepreneurs, we have to be willing to look at. Because if you find yourself in survival state most of the time, or in freeze state most of the time, those quick regulation tools, they're going to help you again in the moment, but they're not going to change underlyingly what is going on. And I'm going to give you a quick example of how I realized I was living in constant anxiety and how it would show up in my business as well. Growing up, I definitely saw my mom being in constant anxiety, and she was very busy running around doing a lot of the things. And there were also many moments where, I was either told that I'm doing something wrong, or I always made sure I was the good girl. And not all the time, of course, like I still had a great childhood, but there were many moments where I felt like I always had to be the good girl and do everything perfect. And the moment I made a mistake or the moment I got a bad grade, I was very scared of that. And that trained me and my nervous system to always be in alert, to always feel like don't do anything wrong, make sure you do everything that you can. And that would show up in my state of being in my business as well. Now, if I only use quick regulation tools like breath work, again, it's going to change my state of being in that moment, but it's not going to actually heal the underlying root that has caused that state of being in the first place. And that is the actual work that I need to do. It's not just changing in the moment, but it's healing the root. How do you heal that root? Inner child work, trauma work, somatic work, embodiment work, all the work that I teach and I do with my clients in my closer containers in my paid programs. Now, I do have an event come up, which is called Beyond Her Highest Level. This event is happening at the end of December. These are 2 days in which you're going to build the foundation to create the 2026 that you desire, that 2026 that is going to be the most successful in your business, where you will be able to let go of these patterns and really heal the roots so you can step into 2026 with the confidence, with the regulation that you need to build the success and life of your dreams. The link is going to be down below if you want to sign up. I would love to see you there. But with that being said, let me know what has resonated with you from this video, what has stuck with you. And of course, if it was helpful as well, let me know as well if you find yourself in freeze mode in your business and if you know what is triggering you to go into that state. I am very excited that you're here. Sending you so much love. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like. It always supports small creators like me. For now, small creators, we're growing, but I would really, really appreciate that. So thank you so much for being here. Sending you love, and until the next time, bye-bye.